This is that second group I was telling you about that's up here.
Someone that you know as a friend, someone that you know as a, member of your family, they can call that number and get help immediately. So we want to make sure everyone has what they need. And if you want to take more than one, you can share it with somebody else. And how about if we give everybody know Mrs. Ligon? If you know someone else that needs one of these and needs this phone number, please feel free to take more than one. Hello, Mrs. Ligon, how are you? Where did you get it? It's my principal. Thank you. We're glad to see you. This is actually the end of our last workshop. We're going downstairs now. That's the one. Right. Can you stay with us then? You're welcome to stay with us. Okay. Great. Staying with a good time.
Hi, Jan. I got one quick question for you. What did you do up here in this workshop?
Actually, you should ask Jamie and Sheriana.
Jamie and Sheriana? All right. How you doing, young ladies? My name's Rex. I own a local website, and I do some work for Jan and Jay, and when I'm able to get out. And I wanted to come up here today and make this movie, put you up on the internet. Of course, Jay knows about it, and everybody else, Jan does too. But tell me, what did you do in this particular workshop up here? Okay.
I feel like that topic isn't stressed enough this evening. There's like a lot of women involved in it. So I just wanted to involve that.
Did you put this whole slideshow presentation together and all this stuff? They did all this? That's pretty intense. Are you going to have another one today, or is this the last one?
This is the last one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got here a little late.
Okay.
But, do you guys have any handouts you gave out during this?
We have the flyers from the local
Domestic Violence Center that we gave everybody.
It's about kind of telling like information about it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to put you up on the internet. This guy over here, Michael McDonald, you got to he'll be taking pictures and movies too. So. All right, well, I got to roam around and see what's going on around the rest of the building here. And this takes a lot of time to get this stuff published. Thanks for your time, Jan.
Thank you.
Michael, hello? Okay, now let me make sure I got you ladies' names right. Spell Terriana and
Jamie, J-A-M-I.
all right, that's Jamie and this is Terriana, folks. And we're back downstairs here. I apologize for missing what went on in that other room over there. But we got to speak to the principal of Elmira. And of course you can see a lot of really good young folks here. Some of them I recognize from the community center over there. Hi, Mike.
upstairs. Don't run into me with the food. Somebody stab me with a spoon, we're gonna be fighting. Huh?
We'll get the pepper right now. They already know it.
Yes, they are. What it is.
God is good. God is great. Thank you for our food today. Amen. Amen.
Beautiful prayer.
Praise God. We have plenty of food for everybody. We're going to continue with our program. We don't have much left to do, but we got something very special for you guys now, and I'm going to have TJ explain what it is.
Okay, so we're about to have a rap coming up. It's about nonviolence, and it was made by Quran. That guy.
All right.
Daily right.
Okay.
We're ready. Yeah, ready to have a competition here.
Alright, everybody, we gotta listen.
Oh, geez. Come on.
Alright, don't laugh. Alright, he's not well.
Talk loud.
Come on. All right, the better.
Alright? Okay, we're ready. Guns and violence, we need to end. Don't talk about, oh, I messed it up.
No, you're fine.
Alright.
You're fine.
Alright, for guns and violence, we need to end. Don't follow someone that's being violent, be independent. If someone's trying to get on your nerves, don't get offended. People make me mad all of the time, I'm living with it. People acting so violent cause money they want to get it. Most people don't have a job so they get to robbing and killing. Rob a couple people, try to rob a bank or building, and they never get away with it, they just get thrown in prison. I ain't rapping for my own help, so pay attention. So straight up, act like I'm your teacher and try to listen. The streets are getting crazy and the violence, you should stop it. If you have a problem with someone, just shake your ass and drop it. Okay. If someone has money that doesn't, you try to rob them. If your friends try to do something crazy, they try to stop them. If people are out to get you and with you have a problem, don't walk up to the violence, talk stupid and try to drop them. Just ask them what's the problem and tell them quit all the violence. The hooting and the hollering, police is turn on the silence. They know that they can stop it but don't care about the violence. That's why I always try to shoot it instead of solving the problem. So people fussing, cussing, start, so many riots cause some people think it's better school to keep up all the violence. But it's not. Hey, the violence needs to stop. On the ground, put them down. The guns should get dropped. Oh.
So we started planning this meeting, and he, like, did this thing here, and he said, can I do a rap song? And I'm like, I don't know about that. So he says, let me just try it, and I will promise you it will be okay. It was better than okay. Yeah. You did a good job.
Diaz, he's in our community services unit. Buckeyenest to stop today to talk to you a little bit about gun violence, some of the penalties, consequences for being around somebody else that may be involved in some kind of crime involving a gun. Sergeant Diaz has got some statistics for you today in connection with young people that get involved in this.
These are some extremely scary statistics dealing with homicides nationwide. Now, these statistics are strictly any community level. We're going from 200,000 person population, urban society, all the way up into the millions. So I'm going to start off with homicides that are most likely committed with handguns. There's been a sharp increase in homicides involving handguns by teens. A lot of that involves gang violence, of course. That's the major contributor. The levels have dropped slightly during the 90s, but they've seemed to climb back up in the 2000s, from about 2001, 2002. The levels have not dropped back to where they were in the 70s, not even close. There was a small decline there in the 90s, and it's beginning to rise once again. 75% of teen homicides involve handguns. 75%. Okay? I'm going to give you a table here. This goes to 2006. Back in 1987, before most of you guys were even born, there was a big gang problem nationwide, and it just increased. It seemed like every year teens were getting killed, about 200 to 300 more every day. And we're going from 87 here. We were at about 1,483 kids were killed by handguns. To about 1992. 1992, 1,932 kids were killed in this country alone by handguns. Now, how can we compare that? You have less Marines being killed overseas. Okay? Give you an idea. You have less Marines being killed overseas right now in combat situations. Okay? The highest level that I have statistically was in 93. We had a 1,926. And then it started to dip. In 94, it started to go down. And guess what? It started to go back up in about 2006. We were at about 1,417 homicides by handguns in teens. It's scary. It really is. I've got some percentages here. In 1976, I don't know, anybody here see that movie about Danny Green, the Irish? Yeah. You saw it? To Kill an Irishman? Okay. Most people, you guys especially, back then our homicide rate in Cleveland was in about the 300s. We had 300 homicides a year back in the 70s in Cleveland. The gangsters were killing each other, not kids, but gangsters. Okay? They were killing each other. Now, in 76, about 70% of any kind of homicide-related crime was by a handgun. 70%. In 93, 97% of all homicides were committed by handguns. 97%. 27% more. Presently, we're at about 94% of all homicides in this country. Whether they're gang-related, whether they're domestic-related, whether they're robberies, they're gun-related. The only real good statistic that I've seen from this is that it seems like back in the 70s, where if you were shot, the medical attention really wasn't there. It's not as good as it is now. We've had an increase in what could have been close to fatality or a homicide. Most people are getting saved now by emergency rooms and hospitals. Now, this is scary, but it's great training for our military. Our military doctors, when they need to get training before they go into a combat situation, they send the doctors to urban community hospitals, including Cleveland. So you have Cleveland, Detroit, D.C. D.C. is probably some of the best training they get because they're gun wounds. They know how to work on gun wounds. They get the training that they need before they go to Afghanistan or Iraq to work on our soldiers. But it's scary that they have to train here before they go overseas. It's really scary.
Okay, you're talking gun violence, the word itself. What does it mean? I mean, anybody have any idea what gun violence means? Definition? When you shoot somebody, well, you're committing a crime. You're using a gun to commit a crime. That's basically what it is. So, if you rob somebody, you don't have to shoot them. You're using a gun, still gun violence. What happens if you're with a friend of yours? And a friend of yours may have a gun. So he decides, I'm going to rob this guy, but you're with him, right? So he goes to try to rob this guy. Guy pulls out a gun, shoots and kills him. Kills your friend. What? Do you get arrested? What do you get arrested for? For what? Complicity? No, you're going to get arrested for murder. Because you were complicit in a robbery that resulted in the death of your friend. You're going to go to jail for his murder. Because you were involved. You were with him. These are the penalties of being with somebody who has a gun and commits a crime. What happens if you commit a crime with a gun? Maybe you rob somebody. What is the difference between you just going to rob a guy without a gun and having a gun? It's the same crime, right? Same? Well, what happens is, if you have a gun and you commit a crime, they automatically tack on 3 years. 3 years mandatory jail. No matter what happens with the robbery. They may only give you 2 years for the robbery, but they're going to put 3 on for having a gun. You're going to spend a lot more time in jail. And hanging around with people who have guns and commit those type of things, you could be with a friend of yours going to the store. You don't know he has a gun on. You just like to pull it out the store. Then you're talking about complicity. You're with him. Guilt by association. Anybody got any questions on it? Well, why is that? Like you say, it's talking about you've got to leave. You've got to get get yourself out of that situation. You can't be around people like that.
Your buddy put you in that situation, correct?
Right.
Okay. If your buddy is putting you in that situation, he's not letting you know that you're getting into that situation, he ain't your buddy. Alright? He ain't your boy. Alright? I mean, for someone to get themselves into that situation, either you knew prior to the crime, if you didn't know that you're driving a car and your buddy's walking in that 7-Eleven and he's gonna hold him up at gunpoint, and he didn't tell you, and he ain't your buddy, alright? They'll put you in that position. Cause they're looking for your buddy, they have a description on him, but they got your license plate.
If I was walking into the store with my friend, he decides to rob the store, what would be the best thing for me? Like, go or stay there?
Get out of there.
Go? Like, run away?
Get out of there.
Yeah,
Get involved.
you don't know what he's gonna do.
All right.
But they're gonna catch you on camera running out of the store before he robs the store.
And then they go try to catch up with you after.
So what if they catch you and you run out of the store, but you ran from him with the gun, and they catch you, but you was running when you went in the store, and we tried to rob you, you ran out, but the police caught you over
They may arrest you.
Yeah, that may
They're
happen.
gonna question. They're gonna question you. They're gonna look at the videotapes in the store, as he says. They're gonna see you running out of the store before the crime is committed. So then your story, tell the police, then they'll decide whether to charge you or not. Just getting arrested doesn't mean you're gonna get charged with a crime. Getting arrested, we continue with the follow-up investigation, which normally goes through our detective bureau, and we question everybody, and then we find out the real story of what happened, and then we decide who to charge and who not to charge. But to stay with the guy in the store and then rob the store and then leave with him, now you're talking complicit in the crime. You're gonna get charged with the crime law.
This is all about not getting yourself into that situation. You guys put this together. This is all you, alright? You're off the streets doing some good here. Don't put yourself into a situation where you walk into a store with a so-called friend, or boy, whatever you want to call him, and put yourself into that situation. You guys are smarter than that. I didn't hear you.
How do you get, he said you're not in possession of the gun yourself,
Correct.
your friend is, how do you go to jail for the same crime? That's what they call, that's complicity. You're with somebody, you're both committing a crime because of that. You didn't know, but you did know when he pulled it out. So it'll depend on what you do when he does that, and what's gonna happen to you later.
You guys have heard guilty by association? You know, it could be anything. It could be you and a friend, you and 3 or 4 of your friends, and 4 of your friends are known gangbangers, and you're the 5th one walking down the street with them having a good time. You're not really not doing anything at that time, but then all of a sudden the police are going to stop and start questioning. Alright? They get a couple bags of weed, a couple handguns off your friends. Guess what? Guilty by association. Right? We're trying to tell you, don't put yourself into that. You guys are a lot smarter than that. Alright? Come on. Don't put yourself into that situation where you have to get confronted by us. Go ahead.
What if, someone would get shot and you just walk past and the cops just pull it while you were walking past?
And you had nothing to do, I mean, you just walked, we probably would stop and question you to see, if, you know, you're probably a key witness for us. You know, we're gonna try to get information from you to find out, you know, who committed the crime.
And it's your responsibility as a citizen to report crime when you see something. It's your responsibility.
See something, say something.
What? And I know a lot of you guys are from the Goodell neighborhood, so you're familiar with the Madison Madhouse or the Heartless Felons. I'm sure you haven't, there's a lot of them have disappeared from the streets in the last year or so. Well, they're in jail, exactly, because we had a lengthy investigation. We used, like what they used to use to put the mafia in jail years ago. We used the same type of laws to put them in jail because they're a criminal organization. So every crime that they committed, we put them all together, and we added in a criminal organization, which adds on I mean, in the state level, I think it's somewhere in the region of they add on like 5 years, but if they get you federally, they add 20 years just for that criminal organization. So you're not gonna see the light of day for quite a few years.
Let me tell you guys something. Once you go in, and you go in again, you don't relate to the regular society after that. Most guys that come out of the penitentiary go right back. Usually 6 months to a year.
They spend so much
Okay.
time in there, they become...
That's their life.
They become
That's their
institutionalized,
life.
they call it. They can't function in regular society, they're so used to jail life. They come out, they can't do anything. They don't want to go the extra mile to try and get educated and work their way up to get some kind of a job. And when you have a felony conviction in your record, believe me, it is very, very difficult to get a job. Nobody wants to hire you. Nobody. There's a lot of jobs. There's a lot of jobs you can't get with a felony conviction. Jobs that you may have had dreams of getting, but you just got into a bad situation. And it's never going to happen because you did that one thing that is going to control the rest of your life.
Now, what if you try to stop him and then still shoot the guy? Are you still going to jail for him?
Then we're talking about the investigation. I would never recommend anybody trying to stop a guy who has a gun. I wouldn't recommend it. Because you'll end up getting shot yourself. I mean, you don't want to do something like that. He makes a decision, he's going to do something.
Just get out of there, call for help.
Exactly.
ASAP.
When you get charged with shooting crimes more than once,
The same crime,
More than one.
if you commit another one, yes.
what is it,
The same thing, a robbery. So if you commit a robbery, you get convicted, and you commit another robbery, is that what you're saying? Well, yeah, you can have multiple crimes.
The same crime, you can only be charged. You can only be convicted.
I think what you're trying to talk about is double jeopardy. Double jeopardy is if we arrest you for a specific crime and you go to court, you get acquitted, which means you're found not guilty. Well, I can't charge you with that same crime twice. So if I found out later that I had more evidence,